Shalom. All praise is due to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rach Kwadash. Double honors to the elect apostle, bishops, elders at Great Millstone ever well. Shalom to elect Ak out there doing this work in sincerity and truth and not for vainglory in season, out of season. Shalom to the men, women, sons, and daughters of the elect of the nation of Israel, which are the elect men, women, sons, and daughters of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that scattered through the four corners of the earth. This whole generational wealth thing that, you so-called Negroes are talking about, that's not going to happen here in America, okay? It's going to happen when Yahweh, the Most High, sends his son Yahweh Shai to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, and in the kingdom, then we'll have generational wealth. Okay, real wealth, not these FRNs that you think is wealth. Okay, all right, real wealth like gold, okay, silver, precious stones, cattle, land for all eternity. Okay, because there's not going to be no Israelite that's going to die. Okay, all right. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, which are the Israelites, you're not going to die. Then you're going to have your generational wealth. But for right now, that's a dream. Okay, that's being told to you. Okay, all right. The so-called white man, them small hats, them little hat wearers, them Jewish guys, they have generational wealth. Why? Well, let's go to it. Job, the 9th chapter and the 24th verse. Okay, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, who's the wicked? So-called white man. Esau, Edom, which are those small hats, little hat wearers, those Jewish guys. Okay, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Yes, the so-called white man is the wicked. All right, that the Bible speaks of in prophecy. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, who are the judges of the earth, so-called Black, Latino, and Native American man. But referring to the images of the Lord, what did he do? They had the true images of the Lord, who you call JC, Jesus Christ. All right, but his name is Yahweh Shai. Okay, all right. That's the name that Yahweh, his Holy Father, gave unto him. Hawashai, deliverer. Okay, he is the deliverer. Okay, and he had the true images of him looking like a so-called black man with dark skin and white woolly hair, but they whitewashed the pictures during the Renaissance era. Okay, the rebirth of the so-called white man coming back into power. Okay, and all the apostles and all the prophets. Okay, they said that they were white people. But you saw what Putin showed you. Putin said, look at this image. We're going to see the Lord as being a so-called black man, All right. So that's says he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Who did that? The wicked, which is the so-called white man. If not, where and who is he? Okay. So, this generational wealth that you so-called Negroes is talking about, man, that's not going to happen here in America. All right. Because you know what? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Yahweh Shai is going to deliver his elect, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites, the elect Israelites. Then we're going to get all our riches. Okay. Then we're going to have generational wealth. But for now, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So all this about, we got to put our money together and we got to have banks. And man, don't you so-called African Americans, haven't you learned your lesson yet, man? Every time you built something, the so-called white man destroys it because it's not your time. This is the so-called white man's time. All right. But his time is up. And then when Yahweh Shai comes, then in the elect of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are delivered, then you'll get your generational wealth. Let's go to more scriptures. And that's very soon to come, according to prophecies. Okay. Uh, let's go to Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter and the 48th verse. All right. Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Deuteronomy 28 chapter and the 48th verse. Yeah, that's a dream you being sold. Wait a minute. Wait. Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Okay. All right. And the 48th verse. All right. Let's see what Yahweh had to say. All right. Through his son Yahweh Shai about having blessings and riches and having our enemies, his enemies, which is our enemies, under him, under Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai and his people Israel. See, we under the curses now, man. All right. All right. We'll get the blessings when Yahweh Shai come to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. Deliver the elect of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans here in America, which is the main deliverance, and the rest of the Israelites that's scattered amongst the four corners of the earth, and be brought back into Israel, our homeland again. All right. Jerusalem. That's in the Hebrew. Jerusalem. All right. In the English. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. You see? So we got to go to the so-called white man for the wants of all things, man. You know? You know? And if you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans build something, it's going to be destroyed by the so-called white man. You've seen it time and time and time and time and time again. All right. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Exactly. You know, so, hey, listen, we serving our enemies right now. You know, so all this shit about generational wealth and we got to get our own banks and all, man, that's all bullshit, man. Listen, we're going to get it when Yahweh Shai comes to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel, which are the elect of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. Here in America, which is the main deliverance, and then the rest of the Israelites are scattered through the four corners of the earth. All right. That's a dream they selling you. Talking about some reparations, man. We ain't getting no reparations over here under the so-called white man's rulership, which is the wicked, which his biblical name is Esau. You ain't getting no reparations. Yahweh Shai is coming. He's going to take his kingdom. Then that's when we're going to get reparations, if that's what you want to call it. All right. That's a dream these so-called Negroes have, man. All right. All right. Let's go to Haggai, the first chapter and the 6th verse. Right. We here to serve our punishment, man, for breaking Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay. But we will be delivered. Okay. The nation of Israel, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the elect of you will be delivered. All right. Haggai, the first chapter and the 6th verse. It says, ye have sown much and bring in little. Yeah. You know, work for free labor, slave labor during the time of slavery. Work for free. You know, then when you so-called Negroes get a little something, you try to set something up. All right. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, and many other places. Central Park was Seneca Park. That's where black people dwelled at in New York. But they flooded that out. All right. You know, you work on these jobs and they tax the shit out of you. Okay. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Yeah. This is the conditions that we live in now. So come out, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is no warmth. And he that earneth wages, money, trying to get some generational wealth up of business for his sons, his daughters, okay? His grandsons, his granddaughters, earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. There you go. So the money comes in your hand, then it goes right back to the so-called white man and these other heathen nations. Okay? So that generational wealth shit here in America, like you're going to build something here in America. Look, America is about to be destroyed by nuclear missiles. Okay? Yahweh Shai is about to come and shoot what? Concentrated fire, which are those lasers, out of his mountain-sized chariots and all the other chariots. Okay? Which the so-called white man calls them UFOs. This place is about to be destroyed, man. Right? So that generational wealth is bullshit here in America. You'll get it in the kingdom of heaven. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? So I hope you've been edified. And with that, Shalom. We got to wait upon Yahweh Shai, okay? Wait upon Yahweh to send his son Yahweh Shai to deliver us. Shalom.